So, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Marina Ernst and I would like to present my project for entrepreneurship course. The project calls SkillNets. And so, I would like to start with the reason why I came up with this idea, and I would like to ask you to think just a minute about what is a perfect team for you. And for me, perfect team consists of 3 parts. Which of them are really important, like every of them is really important. At the very beginning, I would say that perfect team to work on a project includes people with all required skills. So if I need someone to develop my web application, then of course I need both the background, backend and the front end. And these people should have appropriate skills. Other thing is that team should be well balanced, and by this I mean that everybody should be professional enough in their field of work, and as a result every team should be ready to work. People should be satisfied with their work. The climate in team should be really good, and only in this condition we can get a really good project. But how do we do this if we are in company where we have thousands of employees? How do we form the perfect team? This is a question, but I have a solution now. My solution is SkillNets, and basically we are the Tinder for making perfect teams. I would like to show you how easy it is to form the perfect team for your project inside your company. You just have to search for the people and the skills you need. Like, if I need someone good in JavaScript, I just put it there and find a list of the people who are really good. And then I can just invite these people for the project. And the next step is the most important. Because here, as you can see, I can vote. I was working with this person in the project and I can vote for his or her skills. And this is the crucial part of the application. People who are working, who are teammates, voting for your skills, and then the application count are you really good at this or not so good? And if you're really good, then it will be shown your strengths. If you're not, if you still have something to work on, then your manager will see that you need maybe some additional training, maybe some additional courses. And it also helps managers to see the progress of the employee. So, why is it so important? At the very beginning, I would say that IT companies is our target market. Because in IT companies, the situation when you have to work on some particular project, particular application, particular program, really often. It happens really often. In Europe, overall, more than 5% of all companies are in the field of IT and communication. And more than half of them are really large enterprises. By large, I mean more than 250 employees. So, which means that it's really hard to manage all this in old school way. Why it's important? Because marketing is growing. The birth rate of companies are growing every year, and especially for IT companies. Of course, not all of them are large, but even if we take a look at medium-sized companies, they already have more than 50 employees. And try to image this, if you even have 100 of employees, it already might be hard to manage all this stuff. That's why you need a really good solution for this. And we provide it. How do we do this? Basically what we do, we develop a platform, we develop an application, and we distribute it via, for example, App Store, Play Market, and so on. We develop it directly to the companies, and it should be really interesting for HR people, because they can track basically the progress of their employee. What about customer relations? I think the support and customer service is the crucial part here. So how do we promote this? Basically, we use our website, we use social media. So then how do we develop this? Basically, it's really pretty straightforward because our team is already good enough to develop this. And half a year, the application is going to be here. What cost do we have? We need the hosting providers because of course we need servers, and of course our key partners is job search platforms, because in perspective this approach can be also applied for job search platforms, the supporting approach. And of course we need the advertisement partners. That's a kind of obvious thing. What is our costs? Our cost is developing, our cost is infrastructure, our cost is market and sales. And they would like to put a really big stress on market and sales. Because developing, we already can do this. But market and sales, it's really, really huge part. And basically, what we do, how we get revenue, we just charge the company for using the app, which is basically an idea, and how much we charge is going to depend on how many employees do they have. So I didn't manage to do competitor analysis with app, and you know why? Because our app, they claim their project management app or the personal management app, and they all are about the same. They are all about doing tasks like in Trello boards or in Monday, doing tasks and checking is it done or not. It is more or less like a checklist. So that's why I think, okay, then I can just take the old school ways making teams. Like when the one manager working on it, like he knows what he needs and he tried to work on this. What is the pros and cons of this system? So selection can be really subjective because I don't know each and every employee really good. It's hard to work with all of them. If I have more than 100, how am I supposed to know about their skills? How am I supposed to know about them? And there is no tool to check if the employee is doing any progress or not. And what we can say, that's we provide unbiased information because it's all based on votes. It's all based on real skills, not on certificates or just the opinion. And it's really easy to manage, even if you're in large enterprise. So, with all this in mind, let's go next. Our financial overview is pretty straightforward to understand. So the first step, development, is almost for free because our team is already ready to develop this app. Basically, I would say for free, but in the next step we of course need some money for marketing and providing the app for early adopters. And the next step is going to be going to market, and here marketing and sales, that's really costs a lot of money. And then in the fourth step we are finally going to get a real profit and expanding our market share by 10% every year. So speaking about my team, I have two developers, already well-experienced developers, and myself, so I have experience in PR and marketing, and I think this team is already balanced enough, and yeah, we already looks like we were using the skill nets. So, thank you for your attention.